Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Card Design Thursday. This week we are doing Christmas. Every other week I do Christmas. So we're going to get started. I'm going to show you what I'm using. Now this is all I have left over this page right here. This is what I used for my card base. And it's a kind of a taupey color. And then we're going to be using this nice dark olive green and this lighter color here. And we're going to be using the Christmas ornament paper. And all of these papers came from Hobby Lobby last year. And so those are the papers we're using. And I'm going to be using a couple of stamps from the Woodland Christmas stamp set that came from Create at Home with G. And I'm going to be using this stocking right here. Or, no, excuse me, this one right here. And I'm going to be using the Merry Christmas sentiment out of this pack. Through with that. And then also, I'm using this Sizzix die. It looked like the little ornaments almost on the page. And so, I used it this way. Alright, so, and then you're going to need some little foam tabbies. And, of course, just some glue. Now, let me show you and tell you about the sizes we're going to need. First of all, you're going to need your card base. And I am doing a 5x5 card. Which means that you will need a piece of paper that is 10 by 5. And then you're going to score it in the middle to make your 5x5 card. And this card is sort of a vintagey feel. And that's what I was going for. Then you're going to need a piece of the solid color. And this is, I think it's olive green. But this piece right here is 3 3/8 of an inch square. And then I went ahead and ran these through the emboss machine just to save time. But this piece right here is 3 1/4 square. And then you're going to need a piece of your pattern paper that is 3-inch square. And then you're going to need another piece of your green paper that's 2 5/8. And then another piece of the embossed paper that is just 2 1/2-inch square. So as you can tell, we're making a layered card, but not in the traditional way of layered. And then you're just going to need a little scrap of the pattern paper to stamp your little stocking on. And we're also using some vintage photo distress ink. And it's one of my favorite distress inks. I use it for a lot of projects. So before we get started, we're just going to take and we're going to distress our edges of our card base. Like I said, I want this to be a vintage feel. Whoops. Aged and vintage feel. So we're just going to edge all our, distress all the edges on all pieces of our paper. So that's our card base. Okay, I'm just finishing up with my last little piece of paper here. I think Gareth from Create at Home with G inspired this card, and he probably didn't know it, but because of his color combo, our challenge that we do each and every month, he got me thinking about distressed and vintage with the colors that he chose for next month. So right now we're just going to put our base aside, and we're going to start putting our card together. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this. Now, the first large green square and the first cream color square with the embossing on it goes together. So I'm just going to put a little glue on that. Just kind of eyeballing this. But you do kind of want to get the squares in the middle because it makes a difference when you start layering the card. And you'll see as we go along. Okay? And then these two pieces go together. I'm just trying to line this up. Okay. That's done. Now, it's a very simple card, but I just think it gives it a lovely effect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this to our base. But we are not going to glue it down so that it looks square. I was just thinking about something totally different. So what we're going to do, whoops, and not drop it everywhere. We're going to turn this on the diagonal like this and sort of center that in the middle. And we're just going to put that down like that. Okay. Then we're going to take our square piece here, and that is going to go on top like that. So we're going to glue that down. I like this card so much. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to be making several more because I have the paper. And I just really enjoyed this card. Okay, now I'm going to try to center that so that I have the same amount of squares on, triangles on each side. So I'm going to put that down like that. Then I'm going to take this piece and do the same thing. It's going to be on the diagonal like a diamond shape. Okay, so I'm going to kind of line it up in the same distance of this other card, of the other base down like that. And just push that down there. And that is all pretty well lined up there. So now, this is what we have so far. So now we're going to take the little stocking stamp. Whoops. And I'm using my vintage photo to stamp it. Okay. And I'm going to stamp it on the paper here. And you're going to stamp 2 images. Put a little bit more on there. Try to get some of the balls in there. There we go. Okay. So you're going to stamp that. I'm going to give that just a second to dry. I'm going to bring back my card here. And here's the Merry Christmas stamp that I used. Now this was one long stamp. And you know what? It wouldn't fit on my stamp block like that. So what I did was cut it. I know, the shock horror. But they're photopolymer stamps and they can be cut. So that is what I did. I'm trying to put this back in the right place here. Oops, it wants to fall off. Okay. Now we're going to stamp this down here on the very edge down there that says Merry Christmas. So I'm just going to ink that up really good. I could use my stamp positioner or my mini Misty on this, but I'm just trusting with going with the flow here. Okay. So we're just going to line that up down here at the bottom and stamp our Merry Christmas. And that came out really good. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we are going to fussy cut the little stocking out, both pieces. And this is super easy to fussy cut. It doesn't have any difficult lines to it or anything. And we're going to fussy cut both of them out. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to make this dimensional, not only by putting foam squares on the bottom and sticking it on our white card, but also doing 2 layers of the stocking so the foam stocking is dimensional itself. I don't usually fussy cut on camera because I'm not a good fussy cutter. Sometimes it hurts my hands, but this is so easy to fussy cut out. I absolutely adore this stamp set, by the way. It's one of my favorites. I plan on using it a lot. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this other one out. Okay, so I have both of this cut out. And see, we're going to stack it like this. But what we're going to do is, and if you're off a little bit, after you stack it up there, you can trim it up just a little bit. We're just going to take some of these dimensionals, and we're going to just lay a couple on here. Now, these are the little tiny foam squares, and these came from im.making. I'm pretty much, when I do purchase things, I'm pretty much a 3-store person. Well, Created Home with G is one of my favorite stores. im.making. Scrapbooking with Me, which is Edith Ray's store. And when she's open, because she closes for part of the year, Natasha's Scrapbook Corner. And I mainly get my laces and stuff there from her. Of course, I haven't been purchasing anything lately, but I did get a little order from her the other day, and I'll be sharing that later on this afternoon. And I have a little order from Gareth coming pretty soon here. So we're just going to line these up and stack and put them on top. Whoops. And don't do like I do, put them on backwards. There we go. So that just makes that a little bit more dimensional like that. And then what we're going to do is put a couple of more little dimensions on the back of that. And let's stick it on our card. I like these little foam dots. They're black, so they really don't show underneath that much. And they provide a little bit of dimension, but it's not too thick that it looks awkward. Oops. Okay, so then we're going to bring our card back in, and we're just going to place this, I think I'm going to place it at an angle so it's sitting like this, and I think I'm going to place it like this. On just a little angle there. Okay, and there's our card. Now, of course, the inside is still blank, and I will probably leave it that way until I use it. But I just think this is a really cute card. I fell in love with it. Here is the prototype one I made. And so, I hope you'll give this a try. I just used what I had, you know, in my stash. And I didn't have to go out and buy anything for this project. And so, I really love how this turned out. I love vintage, shabby chic, you know, but vintage is one of my favorites as well. And so, yeah. All right, well, I hope you like it. And if you do, please give this a thumbs up. And make sure that if you've not joined my channel yet, you do so by hitting that little icon of the Eiffel Tower up there and subscribing. And make sure you tap the bell so you can be notified each and every time I upload a new video. All right, my friends, so grab out your scraps and give it a try. Now you can use this pattern in the dimensions with any type of cardstock, any type of pattern paper. I just love the effect that it gave. I loved it. It's not traditional layering. It's not just like one on top of the other on top of the other, you know, all in the same way. So I just love that, and I love the way the distress photo made it. So give it a try. All right, thank you so much for watching. And I will leave the dimensions of the card below in the description box, as well as a link to Create at Home with G, MayMayMadeIt.com, Scrapbooking with me, and Natasha's Scrapbook Corner. Thanks a lot. Bye.